Coming up tonight, we've got the latest on women's basketball as the Gamecocks move up to the Final Four.
Later, baseball heads to Mississippi for a weekend SEC matchup.
And finally, our Gamecock men's golf team wrapped up the 2023 Hudock at Bulls Bay yesterday evening. The results later tonight.
These stories and more on Palmetto State Sports.
From the Blue Ridge Mountains and through the Midlands down to the coast, there's plenty of sports highlights and moments here in South Carolina. There's only one place where you'll catch all the action. This is Palmetto State Sports.
Welcome to Palmetto State Sports. I'm Amanda Baranowski.
And I'm Colleen Sholtis. Thank you for joining us tonight. Gamecock women's basketball is heading to the Final Four yet again, the fifth time since 2015, and all under head coach Dawn Staley. The Gamecocks are looking to repeat as national champions after their Elite Eight win over the Maryland Terrapins on Monday night.
The game started a bit rocky for Carolina after a 6-point lead for the Terps in the first quarter. The Gamecocks immediately bounced back, and a Final Four ticket was sealed for Aaliyah Boston and the team. South Carolina is headed to Dallas to face Iowa Hawkeyes on Friday at 9 p.m.
The Hawkeyes are led by junior standout Caitlin Clark, who most recently became the first player in NCAA tournament history to record a 40-point triple-double. The Aaliyah Boston-Caitlin Clark matchup will make for an exciting game as both were finalists for the Naismith Player of the Year award.
Gamecock basketball freshman star Gigi Jackson has declared for the NBA draft. On Friday night, Jackson took to Instagram Live to announce, quote, "I'm declaring for the NBA draft, just like that," end quote.
Jackson reclassed to join the Gamecocks for the 2022-23 season and started 29 of 32 games for the Gamecocks. He led South Carolina in points, averaging 15.4 points a game and averaging 5.9 rebounds a game.
Jackson is projected to be a mid-first round pick in the draft, and at just 18 years old would be one of the youngest players in the league.
Clemson basketball's enormous momentum this offseason came to an end Thursday night as the women's basketball team fell to the Florida Gators in the Sweet 16 round of the WNIT. In the first half, the Tigers fought aggressively in keeping a single-digit deficit between them and the Gators in an attempt to take the lead.
In the second half, the close single-digit deficit turned into a double-digit one after the third quarter. That lead would remain for the rest of the game. In a disappointing loss at home, the Tigers fell to the Gators by a score of 63-73, eliminating them for the WNIT.
This comes after Clemson men's basketball team was eliminated from their respective NIT just 2 weeks ago in a similar close deficit loss at home against Morehead State. Each respective team plans to improve their success in the winter as the next season returns.
Gamecock Baseball continued to find success in the Palmetto State in a commanding victory against the Citadel last night. With one of the best starts in program history, freshman Ethan Petrie has become a big part of making that happen.
Petrie scored 3 runs yesterday night to add to the Gamecocks' 13-2 victory over the Citadel. This has been accompanied by 4 more runs scored over the past week, including 3 home runs in a series against Missouri.
These runs over the past week equate for 20% of the Gamecocks' scored runs just from Petrie alone. The rookie has well established himself as a crucial player of the team and a key component to the powerful hitting the team has shown this season. Just recently, Petrie was named the SEC Freshman of the Week following his performance against Missouri.
Coming off the victory at the Citadel, Petrie and the Gamecocks travel to Mississippi State for another SEC matchup. They will start the series on Thursday at 7 p.m. And this Gamecock baseball team is doing so well. I'm really excited to see as they move into more SEC play, more competitive play, how they do.
Yeah, and it's really exciting to see Ethan Petrie excel so much, being only a freshman this season, and seeing how much he has helped this team.
Right, I'm excited. Coming up, SGTV News 4 sports reporter ALexis Gilfillan has the latest on Major League Baseball. Stay tuned.
The 2023 Major League Baseball season opens tomorrow. All 30 teams will take the field with 8 CY Young pitchers to start on the mound. However, fans awaiting the return of regular season baseball might notice a few changes this year. MLB is introducing a pitch timer, which imposes consequences if the pitcher does not release the ball within 15 seconds with the bases empty or 20 seconds with runners on base. And the new shift restrictions require infielders to be on the dirt when the pitch is released, and also state that there must be 2 infielders on each side of the second base. A third major influence this season is the big implementation of bigger bases. The rules are intended to encourage offense, base running, and shorter game times. But the differences are not projected to shake up the top teams. According to MLB.com, reigning world champions, the Houston Astros, sit at the top of the power rankings ahead of their opening contestants. The Atlanta Braves are ranked second, San Diego Padres third, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are fourth, with the New York Mets in the fifth. Up next, SGTV News 4 sports reporter Dakota Morris has an update on Gamecock men's golf.
The Gamecocks men's golf team wrapped up at the 2023 Hudock at Bulls Bay Intercollegiate yesterday evening, finishing tied 8th at 17 under par. Fifth-year senior Evans Lewis collected his second top 20 finish of the spring season, coming in at tied 16th. Another standout player of the tournament is junior Rafe Reynolds. Both Lewis and Reynolds led the team, firing a 16-iron 3 under par. Reynolds led the team with 5 birdies, followed by sophomore Nathan Franks with 4 birdies. The Gamecocks will head to Augusta, Georgia this weekend to take place in the Augusta Haskins Award Invitational. A lot at stake at this invitational. There's a PGA exemption up for grabs. Very interesting.
Right, and I mean, going to Augusta this weekend is really exciting, especially with the Masters coming up, so I'm excited to see how the Gamecocks do.
The Gamecocks beach volleyball team wrapped up the Gamecock Grand Slam this past Sunday. They finished the first day of the tournament on Saturday with 2 wins under their belt. In the first win over Houston Christian, the Gamecocks dominated all 5 courts. The second match over Arizona State proved to be a bit more difficult for the Gamecocks, with the Sun Devils taking the first win on court 5. However, the Gamecocks quickly picked up the pace after domination in the second wave of matches and coming out with the win. Due to inclement weather conditions, the match against Tampa was canceled on Sunday morning. However, things did clear up for the match against Georgia State. Despite bringing on some momentum back on the court in the second wave, the Gamecocks ultimately fell to the Panthers. The Gamecocks will have a chance for revenge at the Georgia State Dig-In Duels. After their bye week this weekend, they will head to Atlanta April 7th. And coming up after the break, we have the Palmetto State calendar. Stay tuned.
Before we go, let's take a look at the Palmetto State calendar. Starting off with baseball, the Gamecocks travel to Mississippi State for an SEC series. They'll play games at 7 p.m. tomorrow and Friday and finish the weekend with a 3 p.m. game on Saturday. Then they head to Truist Field on Charlotte on Tuesday to play North Carolina at 7 p.m.
The Clemson Tigers host Wake Forest starting tomorrow. Game 1 is at 7 p.m., Game 2 is at Friday at 6 p.m., and Game 3 is Saturday at 2 p.m. Then they host Coastal Carolina on Tuesday at 6 p.m.
And before that game at Clemson, the Chanticleers travel to Georgia State this weekend. They'll play at 6 p.m. on Friday, at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and at 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Now on over to softball, the Gamecocks host Florida this weekend at Beckham Field. They'll play at 6 p.m. on Friday, at noon on Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Sunday.
The Tigers team heads to Boston College. They'll play on Friday at 6 p.m., Saturday at 1, and Sunday at noon.
And the Chanticleers host Georgia Southern for 3 games of their own. They play at 6 p.m. on Friday, at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and noon on Sunday. After that, they host Charlotte on Tuesday for a 4 p.m. first pitch.
And of course, the Gamecock women's basketball team is headed to the Final Four. They'll face Iowa at 9 p.m. on Friday. And if they win that matchup, they'll advance to the national championship on Sunday.
That's all we have for this week of Palmetto State Sports.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SGTV Sports, and to keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV News 4 Sports, I'm Colleen Sholtis.
And I'm Amanda Baranowski. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina. Forever to be.